Hey, welcome to another whiteboard video. Resound here, Eric and Chris. If you haven't seen our whiteboard videos before, here's how they work. We kind of talk about some content that we put out there in the universe, break it down for you in video form. As we do that, Chris here has the drawing magic on the whiteboard behind us, but he has minimal prep, so I don't know exactly what he's going to draw, and I just trust that it's going to be in line with what I'm talking about. So, today's topic. This is piggybacking on a blog that we wrote about the 5 reasons or signs that you need a rebrand. But today in this video, I'm just going to cover 3 of them. 3 of the ones that I would say are probably the biggest ones that you could actually see in your organization. You could kind of feel these things. So 3 of the 5. If you want to go check out the others, go hit up our website and read our blog, 5 reasons for a rebrand. But let's start with my number 1 reason for today. And this is, I'm going to put this kind of in the context of like disease and symptoms. Talk about the symptoms, point to the disease, that sort of thing. But I want to give you a situation. So I'm sure you've met people, you know, in a networking event or just out and about, and when you ask them what they do, they tell you, but it seems like it's all over the place. They do a little of this, a little of that, or they just give you one giant term, like they just go, I'm in marketing. Okay, well, that's a giant universe, and you could do a whole bunch of stuff within marketing. But when you get that kind of stuff from people and you meet them and you go, I don't really know what you do, that's a symptom. The other symptoms could be that they're just very scattered on the ops and strategy side, or the organization's culture just really sucks. It's really lacking, it's not very healthy, people are all over the place. That tends to show up when you talk to people as just, we kind of do a little bit of everything. So when you see that symptom, it's a sign of a disease that's, people don't know your why. That's the disease point. People don't understand your why. And so from a rebrand perspective, if your organization struggles with figuring out their why, it's going to result in this very scattered kind of shotgun approach to everything, to your culture, to the way your ops work, to the strategy. You'll come out of a meeting and have a whole new focus for the company. So you need a rebrand when you don't know your why. And for the executives, that's a really hard thing to admit, that you don't know your why or you've kind of lost your way and your purpose. But it is a huge sign, it is a huge disease point for why you need a rebrand. So let's see, 5 signs you need a rebrand, very nice. Got the giant Y all over the map with the globe. I like it, very good, tracking. My number 2 thing, let's think about a car dealer for a minute. In the traditional sense, when you think about the ads that you have seen in the past and even currently to some extent from car dealers, what do they feel like, what do they look like, and what's the content and the message? Deal, 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 discount, discount, discount. It's a holiday, let's have a sale, let's extend the sale 2 weeks past the holiday and still call it the holiday sale. That kind of stuff. Now that is a classic symptom. Leading with deals and discounts, which is not a bad thing in and of itself, but when you lead with deals and discounts to get that first transaction with the customer, i.e. filling your pipeline with nothing but discounts and deals, instead of looking at the people that have bought from you in the past and nurturing those relationships, that is a sign that customers don't know you, and that's disease point number 2. Customers don't know you, and the symptom is you lead with discounts and deals to get the first interaction or transaction with a customer. Now this is huge because people are going to say, well, I have to incentivize people, I have to get them in the door. Yes, that's very important, but you should be focusing those deals and discounts on the people that have bought from you before. It's a reward for them doing business with you, for their loyalty. You reward them with additional deals. But if you kind of take that car dealer approach and it's all about deal, deal, deal to get the first person in the door, you're going to kick them to the curb after the sale and then you probably will forget about them. And that's a huge mistake, especially today. It's something that traditionally car dealers have not done well. There's a saying, the 3 C's, the see the car, see the keys, see you later. And that tends to be what happens. You think about it yourself. Did you buy a car and then get tons of follow-up? Probably not. And then the next day you probably saw a deal, deal, deal ad on TV. So if that strategy is happening with you, that's a sign you need a rebrand. You might not think that deals and discounts have anything to do with brand, but it's, again, it's a symptom. that people just don't know you. They don't know your brand, and there's not power in that that's drawing people in. So that's number 2. I knew I was going to see a car. This is more like a Land Rover. It's very nice.
It's a Rover.
Very good. Customers don't know you. Big point number 2. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. All right. So number 3, I'm going to equate this to maybe a high-powered baseball team or professional sports organization that goes out there and spends a ton of money to get really amazing players. That's great. It's probably going to put butts in seats, but there's no guarantee that those players are all going to play together well enough to earn you a championship. So while you may get the attendance bump, you may not actually have the desired results. This can happen in an organization when you've got marketing and creative lacking focus. That's the disease point, marketing and creative lacking focus. The symptom of how you'll know this is happening is that you'll see really uninspired content coming out of the team. Now, that content is going to sound very salesy. It's going to sound very transactional, very deal driven. And that kind of supports our point that we made earlier about that people not knowing you and just feeling compelled to lead with discounts and deals. So you're going to see very kind of salesy, transactional, non-relational content coming out of that team. You're going to see visuals that are uninspiring and kind of played out, or you might see tons of inconsistency between them. The reason for this is because like a professional sports team that hires some grade A players, they might end up just being selfish. So what this means when you have a lot of grade A players is that they may splinter and sort of do their own thing. So you might have a copywriter that's a great writer, but they have nothing to latch onto from a brand standpoint. So they write with their own voice and their own personality because there's nothing really solid for them to grab onto. The same thing might happen with designers. They might do their own thing because they lack focus from your brand with your brand's visuals. Those things may not be nailed down. And so they just interpret their brand as they would, selfishly. And then what happens if that person leaves? So another great reason to engage in that rebrand is if your marketing and creative teams lack focus. That's super important. Now, let's take you on a quick visual tour with the GoPro, because why not, of the whiteboard. And here we've got our why. So to recap, if people don't know your why and you're all over the map, it's a great reason to rebrand. Let's go over here to number 2. If your customers don't know you, so basically you're leading with deals all the time to fill your pipeline, that's a huge reason why you probably need a rebrand, because this is not sustainable for the long term and it doesn't allow for you to have a lot of brand equity. You become very commoditized if you're doing this. And then number 3, oh, Chris is adding some more fun up here.
What we got? $? $sign?
Oh, you're trying. You're almost there. Nice. It's all about the money. All right, down here, number 3, your creative and marketing teams lacking focused. Sort of that baseball reference, uninspired play. People doing their own thing on their own agenda, not necessarily having the focus that a rebrand can provide when you do it the right way. So those 3 of the 5 reasons that we highly suggest doing a rebrand. You can read more on our blog, resoundcreative.com. And for Chris and Eric, we will see you next time. Maybe with a guest drawer next time. Keep an eye out for that.
You never know.